Good morning. If this is the first time that you're catching one of my videos, I am Adina. I am a mom, a wife, entrepreneur, and a triathlete. And today I am going to be working on my journaling because it is the first of the month. And in the first of the month, I like to get a fresh, clean start and just kind of start doing some forward looking to get myself ready for where I'm going. And today is actually the first of the quarter, so I have a brand new journal to open, which I always get excited about a brand new journal because it's nice and clean and there's nothing in it, and it's just kind of a blank page to get myself started. So this is a journal that I use and I actually created, and I have been using it now I just completed my first 3 months of using the journal, and it really helped me stay on track on a monthly basis, and a weekly basis, and a daily basis. So I thought I would share with you a little bit of what I do on day one to get myself ready when I open up my brand new journal. And just to give you some tips that you can use with any journal or any planning system to help keep yourself a little bit more organized. And now more than ever, it's really important as we've got everybody home and we are managing different schedules. I'm really relying on my own organization of my own self, so that way I can get everything done that I want to get done in a day and not put too much on my schedule, because that's actually one of the biggest downfalls of scheduling yourself, is to overschedule yourself. And that was definitely something that I fell into. And I'm going to show you how the journal can help you along the way. So the first thing about this journal is you can start it at any time. So you just, this morning I already went in and I set up the monthly calendar. I put in the month of April and I put in all the dates. And so I'm going to use that page just to put in any big things that I know are happening this month. If I have any big deadlines, if I have any important meetings, anything that I know is going to happen that I need to really keep my focus on. It's really a high level spot. And then I even have like a page that I can write some notes about what my goals are for the month, and just some ideas maybe that I'm working on. I left this kind of blankish so that way you can use it for whatever you find useful. And before you even get to the monthly part, I already have kind of a bigger view of what I'm doing for the year. You can kind of step back and have that big overview of what do you want to accomplish for the year. And it can be goals for your business or your family or your health or your personal relationships or your finances. It really can be any goals that you want. But if you have that vision of what you're going to do for the entire year, those longer term goals, then I like to take those and break them down and say, okay, well, what am I going to work on each month? And then here is where I'm really starting to say, okay, well, it's the month of April and I am going to work on this, or this. So then what I'm going to do this morning is I'm going to look at my year trajectory and see what things I want to work on this month, what things I had planned, and I might need to change it a little based on changes and based on how my projects have been evolving. And then what I'll do is I'll take those monthly ideas and I'm going to break them down into what I need to do each week. And this is where, for me, the fun and the productivity happened the most, because there's a page for every day that you can write down your daily schedule. And I always have a little post-it. So this is what I did yesterday. Was I knew that I had a couple of things that were on my mind yesterday, and I like to stick a little post-it in the corner to say, oh, let's not forget about these things, so I can plop them into my daily schedule when I make it in the morning. And I have plenty of room to, schedule my entire day. So this actually starts from 6 a.m. all the way down to 8 p.m. And I can use these blocks to actually write out my to-do list. My to-do list comes into right here. so that way I know when I'm going to do things. And it also helps me kind of estimate the time that I'm going to do them. And that actually for me took a little bit of time because I was, like I said, I was over scheduling. So I was putting so many things in here, and I found out that, you know, the size of these blocks are really good because you probably can't do more than you can fit in the block. So I have over time learned how much time things take me, and it helps me organize my day a little better as to how much I can fit in. And before I even get to this kind of daily planning part, I have a whole section over here where I can do some self-reflection. I always start out my day with a daily affirmation. You may have seen I've been using these awesome affirmation cards because that's actually something that doesn't come super naturally to me. I either use these cards or I look things up on the internet, but just something, a positive and motivating thought that gives me some confidence for my day. So like the one that I have here says, I am elevated, my awareness is expanding, and I rise to my highest good. So I really like that one I really liked because it was talking about awareness. And that's something I wouldn't have come up with myself. And sometimes I fill them in just whatever I'm feeling that I need on a given day. And I've got a spot for my gratitude. There's a lot of research that shows that starting your day with gratitude, just things that you're thankful for, puts you in a better mood. And so every day I try to write 3 different things that I am grateful for. And it could be anything, really. It could be big or small. Sometimes I'm just grateful for a comfy sweatshirt, you know, and that's fine. Anything that makes you happy. And then there's a goal for the day and a dream. And this part actually was really tricky for me in the beginning. The goal for the day was pretty good. It was one thing that I could focus on that day. So, well, if I do this today, I'm going to feel great. I'm going to feel accomplished. So that part I said, okay, this is great. I know how to do that. And I actually had trouble with the dream. The dream, you know, it can be a lot of different things. It can be a big dream that maybe you see yourself traveling the world someday. Or it can be a smaller dream that says, you know, maybe I want to do an Ironman triathlon. Or it can be just a dream that you want to do this week. You know, I want to stay focused on myself this week, or I want to take care of my healthy eating this week. It could be anything, you know. It could be, oh, I want to understand my finances and make sure that I'm ready and set for my kids' college and my retirement. Any of those things. So for me, I like to think of it more as a longer term goal or an objective, because that's how my brain works. But some people like to just have these big dreams that they go to. And that's actually something that I find I'll write the same thing. I might write the same thing every day for a month, but seeing it down there in paper and physically writing it down helps me work on it and stay focused towards it. And then there's a section for notes that you can use whatever you want. Sometimes I do my reflection of my reading. Sometimes I just have ideas that pop up. It's really a fluid section that you can use for anything at all. And then this is the most important part. I'll show it to you. Top 3 to-do list. 3, just 3 things. And you only need to accomplish 3 things a day. If you can do more, fantastic. But if you're pushing yourself to do too many things every day, then you're not going to do them in a quality fashion, and you may feel like you are not successful if you're not accomplishing them. So I often have 3 business or work related to-dos and then 3 personal to-dos because 3 total has not been enough. And I really, you know, on an 8-hour workday, I can get 3 things done, you know, my top 3 things. There are times where I only get 2 of them done, and that's okay too. And then I'll just pop that over to the next day. That's sometimes where my Post-its happen. And then 3 things for, my personal life, my family life, whatever that may be. So I like to have 3 work related and 3 personal related. So that way I have both of those things always on my mind to be advancing with, and always to make sure that I'm not doing too much, not putting too much pressure on myself. My family tells me all the time, my husband's like, you put way too much pressure on yourself. And this has really helped me to say, I don't have to do everything. And sometimes I like to think of it more as a priority list instead of to-do list. So, a to-do list is a huge brain dump of everything that you think you need to do in life. But when you pick 3 things and say, oh, this is my priority for the day, you feel pretty good. And then the last thing I do is I have, these down here in my little check boxes to make sure I get my workout in every day. I do my reading every day. I don't always do my reading every day. Sometimes that box is not checked, but it is always there to remind me. I try to check it every day. Drink plenty of water, eat my healthy food, and do my gratitude. So these are kind of like the 5 things that I know are really going to make me feel good about the day. And the absolute best part, this is one thing I never did. I've been writing in a journal and making lists and organizing myself for a long time. But one thing that I put in here that has really made a difference for me is at the end of the day, before you go to bed, you come down here and it says, one thing I'm celebrating about today. And I promise you that there's always something you can celebrate about your day. Always something you've accomplished. And even if you don't do your 3 priorities, or even if you end up doing other things, there is always something you can accomplish. And when you write it down and look at it and say to yourself, all right, yeah, I did something. No matter what the day turned into, no matter what kind of a mess you dealt with, and everything got turned all upside down, there is always something you can say that you accomplished. And when you take a little bit of time to celebrate yourself every day before you go to sleep, it feels good. And I find that it helps me get a better night's sleep. So that's what I'm going to be starting my day with today, is getting my monthly plan ready, and then planning my day, and then getting to it. So I hope that helped you. If you want information about this kind of journal, I am glad to share it with you. It's actually available on Amazon, which is pretty cool. So if you want to use the same system, that's great. And if you have your own system, go for it. And you know what? If you just grab a piece of paper and start, or an empty notebook and start, that's the most important. So like I said, I hope that was helpful. If you guys have any other questions about planning or journaling, drop them in the comments, send me a message. I'd be glad to talk to you. Have a great day.